Welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Row. Today I'm doing a blind for David. If you caught our live stream last week, David was doing some whiskey training, and he's given me the option to take 3 of his blind samples and pour them up for him tonight. I'll also be able to pick 2 extra bottles to add into the blinds. Before I get started, if you guys like what you're seeing here on Whiskey Row, please subscribe to the channel. If you haven't been to our couples channel yet, please go on over to Beyond the Row and see if you guys like what we're doing over there.
I do have to say thank you to Jaime for pouring this blind for me today. I'm very excited to get into this. I don't know what we're getting into, but this one smells good off the nose. On this one, I'm getting a little bit of wood, just a very, very faint peanut shell. A little bit of caramel, some vanilla, wood. I am getting a very faint citrus, a little bit of dried fruit. That's about it. I'm getting a real blast of citrus up front, some nice baking spices, clove, a little bit of butterscotch, a little bit of a very, very mild, very, very faint peanut. You know, if you do like a Jim Beam product, you get a really strong, like, peanut taste. This is a very mild peanut taste. I sometimes get that on Wild Turkey stuff, and I sometimes get that on Heaven Hill stuff. So we will see if that pans out to be somewhat true. But this is a good one. It's got a nice mouthfeel, a nice proof spice. It's not too high. A little bit of baking spice. It's really kind of nice on the palate. That fresh lemony thing is a little stronger than I might like, but I'm starting to nitpick really. Tastes good. I enjoy drinking it, but that citrus note is maybe a little bit stronger than I might like. This one has a really strong, like a pie crust smell with like cinnamon. I would say it's almost like apple pie, but I'm not getting apple. But if you took an apple pie smell of pie crust and cinnamon and sugar with a little bit of a burnt ends, like the burnt edges around the pie where it got a little bit singy and black, I'm getting that, a little bit of char. Smells good. It smells a little on the char and oaky side, just faintly of that, but not bad. Let's try it. The first thing that leaps out is this very creamy texture on this one. I'm getting a lot of that kind of creaminess. I want to say it's a vanilla, but even that vanilla isn't super strong, but that creamy texture is very, very strong. The proof on this one tastes really, really low compared to a lot of the stuff we drink around here. I'm getting a little bit of a cinnamon spice, not like a big red cinnamon, but more like a baking cinnamon, just kind of a nice baked cinnamon good. A little bit of honey. And there's this, I'm trying to see if there's fruit on this. I want to say there's fruit, but it's very faint and I can't place it. Maybe a little pear, just a little bit of pear on top of all that, but it's a good one. It didn't have, it was different than the first one. Getting a lot more, a little bit of a chest hug now on that one. That's weird. Whoa, on this one, I'm getting all kinds of butterscotch and toffee. A little bit of a milky cereal as well. Then I'm also getting this kind of maple note with wood, like a wood-covered maple. But it smells nice across the board. It's just very, very sweet smelling compared to the first two. I'm getting some effervescent stuff on the back of my tongue. It's very sweet. Lots of butterscotches, some toffee, like I was getting on the nose. And then it goes into this like a very kind of it's really kind of extracting, like it's got a very drying aspect now in my mouth, pulling out a lot of saliva. Has a very long finish. Very long finish. It's very steady and stable in flavor. Just now it's turning to, like, even after all this time, it's now starting to turn into a very faint kind of a nuttiness, like an almond nut. This one's very interesting because the sweetness is very pronounced. It's very, very, very sweet. It could be double oaked or toasted, something or other. Getting a little bit of a kind of a burnt marshmallow faintly. It's very faint though. But yeah, the more I sip on it, the more I'm getting some more of those peanut aspects. Nut shells, almonds, that kind of a thing. But it's solid. Can't complain. Well, this is a really interesting blind because this particular one I'm getting a lot of caramel, honey, some butterscotch, a little bit of a proof burn on the nose, just faintly. Really faint though. And underneath all that, it has this very kind of a floral, I'd say a floral note that it's pretty strong. So you get all of those sweet things and then floral. A little bit of a dusty barrel, and that's about it. I'm getting a good thick, mouth, like syrupy mouth feel. It tastes like it's a solid bourbon. Getting some char toward the end. The finish is pretty solid, pretty strong. It's a solid bourbon. The flavor is very interesting. But it's confusing me for sure. It's confusing me for sure. Let's go on to the next one. This one is all charred caramel on the nose. I'm getting a bit of proof spice on a little bit of burniness. But that charred caramel, toasted marshmallow, and then after that, there's some aspects, a little bit of citrus aspect, some dried fruit, a little bit of barrel wood. It's a solid one on the nose. On the palate, that one really comes alive, and it is interesting. I'm getting a lot of char notes. It's got a little bit of a butterscotch sweetness. It tastes kind of thin though. That would be my only gripe is the perception is a little thin. It's got a little bit of stickiness in the mouthfeel though. Good baking spice presence, counterbalanced with the sweetness. It's a solid one. Can't complain. I'm happy with all of these tonight. They are all fairly good, and I am excited for whatever Jaime poured for me, and I want to find out. But before we do, we have to rank them and get them on the podiums, and then we'll do a bottle reveal after that. So stay tuned. All right, we have our rankings. Let's do this. 5th place right here. 4th place right here. 3rd place right here. 2nd place. And 1st place. Now, the reason why I did this way is because this is what kind of tasted good to me tonight. I'm not sure what Jaime set me up with, but I will say I really don't have a lot of good guesses on this one tonight. Trying to guess like what she poured for me, but I will say that this one was just a little thin. It had some good flavors, but it just ended too quickly. It had a little bit of something that lingered that I didn't love. This one was really good. I mean, I should say that all of these were pretty solid tonight. I didn't have any that were like off or didn't taste very good to me. This one was good. It was a little on the thinner side. Had some good flavors. Nothing really bad to say about it. This one I thought was quite a bit better than this one. I feel like these two were clearly 4th and 5th, and then first, 2nd, and 3rd were pretty close in my book tonight. This one was really kind of toasty, warm, delicious desserts. It was a little on the thinner side than what I was, sometimes hoping for. And it ended a little quicker than I liked, but the flavors on it were fantastic. This one lasted a long time and the flavors were delicious, and I think this one might be a rye. I'm not positive on it, but as I kept drinking this one tasted more and more rye-ish to me. And I don't know if it's the season, it being fall. This one was really, really good for a rye. And what I mean by that in this competition, because I don't know if any of the others are ryes. I didn't pick up anything else that was super rye-ish. I mean, there was one that might have been a little kind of heavy on the rye, but this one was very caramel rich and kind of strong. I think this might have been the highest proof. Anyway, this had a good finish. It was really tasty. This, my 1st place, was really, really good. I liked it a lot. Nothing bad to say. Good finish, good mouthfeel, and really good flavors. So I don't know what the bottles were, so we'll get the bottles here in a minute, but let's go through and reveal what the 5 are, so at least I know which bottles to go look for. In 5th place, we have Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. Okay. In 4th place, we have 12 year 1792. Okay. Interesting. That was an interesting one. In 3rd place, we have Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish. Thanks a lot, Jaime. In second place, we have Knob Creek Rye Single Barrel. Okay, I thought that was a rye. And our first place winner tonight is Michter's 10-year rye. Why does she do this to me? All right, now that we know what the bottles are, let's talk about them a little bit. First off, we have an Elijah Craig Toasted Barrel. This thing's coming in at 94 proof. This is a pretty good entry-level toasted bourbon. It is not legendary, but it is a solid, tasty pour. And you kind of see it in fifth place tonight. This is a great group. And so fifth place is not a bad place to be in this group now that we know what the bottles are. Fourth place, we have 1792 12-year coming in at 96.6 proof. This is a really solid bottle. When I've compared it against other 10, 12 years, it's not always done great. But standalone sipping, I've always enjoyed it. It's a good pour. So I think the shocker tonight is third place. This is Michter's Toasted Barrel Finish coming in at 91 proof. Now, this one is a legendary bottle. It's the most expensive bottle on the table, bar none, and it came in third place. The flavors on it were fantastic. Delicious. The problem is it's 91 proof. It's a little thin. The finish is a little short. Even at it being special, it just didn't stand up as well as it has in the past. And again, it's the delicious, decadent, desserty, toasted barrel-y finish. Came in third place tonight. And I actually stand by that. I'm okay with that, even though, it is what it is, and that's okay. This one is a little bit of a shocker, although I've really liked the Knob Creek Single Barrel Ryes. This is a Virginia ABC store pick coming in at 115 proof rye. The nice thing about the Knob Creek Ryes is you get some of these really nice caramel notes, which sometimes can be a little harder to find on ryes. This particular rye tastes like a rye, but it tastes like a sweet rye. It's a very sweet, desserty rye, and that to me comes together really well, which is why first place tonight, Michter's 10-year rye. And this is a delicious one coming in at 92.8 proof. This Michter's 10-year, absolutely delicious. I don't have enough good things to say other than I guess the only caveat to this would be I wish the Michter's 10 years came in at a little higher proof. I wish they came in at 100, 105 proof. I wish they were, Michter's barrel entry proofs are much lower than others. I kind of wish that the Michter's 10s, both the bourbon and the rye, came in at barrel proof. If you're looking for a delicious, somewhat available rye, or you want to get into ryes, you're new to ryes, or you love ryes, Knob Creek Single Barrel ryes are fantastic. This store pick, 115 proof, just delicious. I've got a double cask rye up there from way back. Fantastic rye. But with all that said, I am very happy with the outcome of this competition, and I'm excited by some of the delicious bourbons that I had the opportunity to drink tonight. So thank you all for your support. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Go check out Beyond the Row if you haven't, Jaime's channel. We have a lot of fun over there together. And until next time, find a bottle you love.